Hey everyone, welcome to Travel Stories Unpacked, the travel podcast where we talk about all things from the silly to the serious and everywhere in between. I'm Annie.
And I'm Ashley.
And today we are talking about something that seems to be in the news quite often, especially this time of year, at the beginning of the year, which concerns the cruise industry.
Cruise news, baby.
Cruise
We're
news.
talking about what is coming, what is new, what we can look forward to, or maybe what we're not looking forward to.
What you need to be mindful of.
Yeah.
Things like that. Because I think the cruise industry is unique in the sense that it's not like for the most part, not really like a bucket list item for a lot of people.
Annie, I think you're already starting this with a lot of controversy.
So
you
be
gotta
it.
keep in mind, Annie isn't a cruiser. You know what I mean? But like I
let
think
me explain
bucket
myself.
list cruises are for sure a thing.
No, I mean, like, you can go on the same cruise, on the same ship, on the same itinerary. I mean, how many people have we met on cruises where they're like, oh, this is my 30th time? And that's
sure.
not an exaggeration. On the last cruise, I met a couple. It was their 75th cruise on that same ship, same itinerary. But where I was going with this is that cruises, I feel like, are unique in a way that they constantly have to change because there are some people who do the same routes, the same ships, the same cruise line. It's not like a bucket list destination where it's like, Antarctica or somewhere in Asia or Europe even. Like, they have to constantly change to get those people coming back.
It's
right?
funny that you say that because
Hope that made sense.
Well, I'm thinking of, Kathy Killen, who works for...
I love her.
I know. She's the best. Kathy, if you're listening, thanks.
Mm-hmm.
But also, you're the best. She always talks about with Royal Caribbean that, like, the ship is the destination. You know what I mean? So, like, in that sense, it's just, like, revamping your hotel or revamping your all-inclusive resort. Like, there's going to be work that goes into it.
Yeah.
So that's an interesting perspective. Yeah.
I mean, that's what I think. Like, you love cruising.
I do.
Would you do the same cruise on the same ship, exact same itinerary 20 times?
20 times, I don't know how much money I got. But, definitely, okay, because I've never actually cruised for a vacation.
Okay,
I've only
disclaimer,
done it for work.
Yeah, neither of us.
Yeah.
Disclaimer. So, okay, yes.
But with that being said, there's definitely times where I get off a ship and I'm like, man, I wish I could take my mom on this. Or, man, I can't wait to get Nate on here. Like, that sort of thing. So it's definitely not like, oh, I would never do that itinerary in that ship again. Like, I would absolutely repeat.
But to that, like, 20 times?
Again, I just couldn't imagine having that kind of money. Like, cruising is affordable,
Okay,
but I can't imagine
let's
that.
say if if you had that kind of money.
Probably not unless I had done literally everything else I want to do. Like, there's just so many places I want to go, and there's so many different, like, even just talking about cruising, there's so many different types of those experiences I want to have. So unless I had done them all, probably not gonna repeat.
Would you
a
do,
bunch.
like, the year-long one that goes around the world? Like, you know which one I'm
Man,
talking
when
about?
there was that skip these 4 years cruise, I was like, that's tempting. I'll do that. They got Wi-Fi. I can still work. I don't know. Just never say never tends to be my attitude with those sort of things. But like, I have a dog. Like, I've
that's
got,
true.
Like, family and like young nieces and nephews and
Leave
stuff.
them all behind. None of it matters.
Bye.
Nothing matters. Just take the trip.
Catch me on the balcony.
Hashtag self-care. But no, it's like, it's funny because like I love being on boats. I don't mean like big cruise ships. I mean like
speedboats.
Yeah, a catamaran or like, you know what I mean? Like a ferry. I love riding those boats.
Did I tell you the story of when I booked a catamaran excursion and what I thought it was?
No,
Okay.
I can't wait to hear
So
this.
I was booking a catamaran excursion and I was like, oh, it just takes you like around the island. That's so cool. But in my brain, I was reading catamaran. It said catamaran, but I kept thinking rickshaw, which is like so different.
It could not be any more different.
So, like, when I actually read it more, I was like, oh, this is way better. Like, I'd much rather be on a boat than in a rickshaw. But, like, that's just, like, I don't know why my brain was, like, confusing those two things.
Yeah, it's not like you can take one to go to the other. Like, it's not like an amphibious rickshaw. You know?
Could you, like, those big paddle things?
Well, but you still have fun, though, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And in the end, they actually canceled the catamaran and put us in a speedboat, which
then
was way more fun. I was like, zoom in.
But back to cruises. We have notes, and they're totally different, but they do work because when we were talking about this topic, I thought we were saying, like, trending destinations.
Ooh, okay. I went totally different.
Yeah,
I went
yeah.
more with like, industry updates and changes and, like what's new for 2025. So do you want to go first?
Yeah,
Do you want to
yeah.
volley? What are we going to do?
So this is a trend that I'm totally on board with is that a lot more cruise lines, according to TrueGrade.com, are offering more unique destinations. So people are kind of tired of Europe, it seems. So we're seeing more Arctic/Antarctica. Sign me up.
You can always count on Annie for like the cold destination news.
And you know what? That's another trend. TravelWeekly.com calls them coolcations, which is really a stupid nickname.
Yeah, can't.
But, no, I can't make that happen.
Not
I'm sorry.
everything has to end in cation.
Stop. Yeah. You got staycation. That's all you're going to get. Coolcations. So people are going to like the Norwegian fjords, Alaska, Iceland, Greenland, Antarctica, Baltic Sea, which are all places I would visit on a cruise ship specifically.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm a little surprised to hear you say that.
Because I like that it's more adventurous.
Yeah.
Like they feel more like expeditions.
More catered to what you're actually looking for from your vacation
Right.
experience.
Like
as a whole.
I've never been the kind of person to go somewhere and lay on the beach and just like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like I just feel like, okay, what now? Like I could have done this back home.
Yeah.
In
No,
the
I got
AC.
you up to that swim up bar for like half a drink.
No, literally, I was like, not even. I don't even think I had a drink.
You didn't. I had half a drink while you were with me.
I watched you have like half a drink. I'm like, all right, well, I'm gonna head back. And you were so upset too.
I was like, that's fine.
No, because you came, but she was so excited about the swim up bar.
I love a good swim up
like
bar.
she was talking about it incessantly, and then she came
This
back.
is at Royal Caribbean's Coco Cay.
Yeah,
So if
yeah.
you know the swim, like you actually swim out to this bar. It's like not like a swim up bar in a pool.
Well, first of all, I'm not a great swimmer, so I'm like, this is stupid. I'm about to drown just trying to get a Corona. But she comes back, and I was like, so how was the swim up bar or whatever? She goes, it was fine. And then you were like, it just would have been nice if I had someone to enjoy it with.
Yeah, but you know that's my vacation style in general.
It was just the two of us there on a work trip.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I could take a hint.
Well, no, I didn't mean to guilt you like that.
No.
But I mean, bonus. But no, it's like, we know that we've talked about it on the show in the past. You fully embrace solo travel. That is hard for me. Like, I like being able to look at somebody and be like, isn't this fun? Like, are you having fun?
Well, it wasn't the solo travel thing. It was just the fact that, like, okay, we're on a beach, like, this is really cool that we're here, but, like,
no, it's not your thing.
Yeah, I'm kind of ready for the next thing.
Yeah.
Like,
But it's funny that you brought up, like, cold destinations being a thing, and I feel like this even ties into our, discussion about like responsible tourism and like where does the responsibility lie, and I thought this was interesting. This was from an article on thestreet.com, and it says that Iceland is imposing a daily infrastructure fee of $18 on all cruise passengers arriving in its ports. So if they're expecting to, like if they're looking at the trends and they're like more people are going to be cruising to these cold destinations,
which they
including Iceland, like getting ahead of it and putting in that fee so that they can maintain what they need to. You know what I mean? I personally would not be mad at seeing a fee like that.
Me neither.
Yeah.
Because if that means that it's a better experience for the cruise passengers and the locals,
100%.
and doesn't lead to a situation like Spain, then I'm all for it.
Yeah.
I mean, and the end of the day, what's $18?
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Totally. Any other like cold destination cruise news?
those were the ones that were popping up, but Asia destinations are becoming really popular too. So obviously, Japan's just crazy popular the past few years, but cruise specifically, now people are looking at places like Vietnam and the Philippines, which Southeast Asia has always been like a really good value, whether you're flying there to visit on foot, whatever. But what I found really interesting too, as I was doing some research about trending, like specifically trending cruise destinations, was the Middle East. So Dubai is trending, so is Oman. And also Dubai, I don't know if you ever watched the show Dubai Bling. I am obsessed.
I assume it's like a reality show.
Oh my goodness. Let us know if you ever watch this show, because it is like, it's beautiful, wealthy people with the dumbest problems, and I'm for it. And no, that's what it is. But like a lot
I feel like that's why I liked Gossip Girl.
No, that's exactly it. That's exactly it. But like a lot of these people on the show, like they're self-made. You know what I mean? They're very wealthy. But Dubai Bling, I'm obsessed with. But it's on Netflix. Watch it. It's hilarious. But also, like, really insightful. And also, apparently Dubai chocolate is a trending thing. Do you know anything about that?
Well, I had some at the office the other day.
Did Sammy bring them to you?
Yeah.
He brought them to me, too. Thanks, Sammy. He's behind the camera today.
Thanks, Sammy. It was delicious. It was like Biscoff or something.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Because I'm
so
like,
good.
chocolate. Chocolate's chocolate. I was so wrong. Chocolate,
Yeah,
not
you're not
all
a big-
chocolate is made equally.
Yeah.
But Dubai chocolate is up there for me.
Since you were talking about Asia being like an up and coming cruise destination, again, like these cruise lines, I want to know who's in their R&D teams. You know, like how are they like so good about knowing what's coming? Because Disney is actually having a new cruise ship that is coming out in 2025. It's going to be the Adventure, Disney Adventure, and it is going to be the first Disney ship to home port in Asia.
Really?
Yeah.
Where at?
It didn't tell me in the article. This was from cruiseindustrynews.com.
Interesting. Because
Yeah.
I know like Hong Kong ports are starting to open up too. So, but Hong Kong's really expensive. So I don't, maybe
Yeah.
Singapore?
I don't
can
know
see.
if you're a Disney cruise agent or
Yeah.
a big Disney cruise fan and you know the answer to that, we'd love to know.
And if you're not supposed to tell us, email us anonymously.
Travelstoriesunpacked@gmail.com.
Because I'm a nosy broad. So
Yeah, but actually I do have a bunch of other ships that are coming out.
Okay.
Do you want to hear me like rapid fire?
let's hear them.
All right. So these are not all of them, but here are new ships coming out in 2025. I'm going to read them as fast as I can. All right. New ships, 2025. World America, MSC Cruises. Aqua, Norwegian Cruise Line. Star of the Seas, Royal Caribbean. Allura, Oceania. Viking, Vesta, Viking Ocean. Luminara, Ritz-Carlton. Star Princess, Princess Cruises, Excel, Celebrity, Star Seeker, Windstar, Adventure Disney, Destiny Disney, Patriot American Cruise Line, and Pioneer American Cruise Line. Whew.
Wow. That is a lot. You know what's crazy? It's like our very good friend and colleague, Charlie from CLIA, says all the time, like, the cruise industry can only grow so much per year because the ships can't be built fast enough.
Yeah.
So the fact that you only read a small part of that list and not all of it, that's impressive.
Well, and, you know, I don't know how exhaustive the list was. That was from cruiseindustrynews.com again, but it was really interesting. But something else I noticed on a lot of these, again, with the idea of like how fast can the cruise industry grow? What responsibilities do we have?
I mean, the demand is clearly there.
Yeah, but like a lot of these, it was noted that they're going to be liquefied natural gas powered ships, or you might hear it as LNG powered ships. And they're supposed to be more environmentally friendly because they reduce fuel consumption and carbon emissions. That's according to Google AI when I typed in, what the heck is a liquefied natural gas powered ship? Because I'm not a scientist.
But do you believe it?
You know, I mean, we were just talking about how much time and money and effort they put into like researching these things. I'm sure that they have like, you know, crazy, powerful, like Big Bang level scientists working on these sorts of things.
So speaking of AI, one of the other trends that I kind of stumbled upon while researching for this topic was a lot of ships are now adding more tech-driven guest experiences. So that includes facial recognition.
I feel like that's been around for a while though, because I'm thinking the last few times I've gone through like, you know, cruise security, I'm not really showing my passport. You just stand in front of the thing.
Yeah. Especially the new port in Miami, like the Royal Caribbean.
That was a nice port.
Right? That was really nice. It's like top of the line. I felt really special.
Yeah, like I
but
don't know,
yeah,
it's like
a
your
lot
vacation starts in the port,
yeah,
which is kind
exactly.
of a fun feeling.
So, it's facial recognition. Like they're kind of modeling a lot of it after the nicer airports now, but also VR and AR immersive experiences on ship. So
Yeah.
I've never seen that. So it's got to be like a new-ish thing. It's almost like the MetaQuest goggles or whatever, where you can basically, it's like Google Street View on steroids. So I
Yeah.
think that's really cool. So,
Well, and I think when you're working with like finite space, like you are on a cruise ship, the ability to have those VR experiences, like I know for a while on Royal Caribbean, I can't remember what it was called, but you had basically like those giant trampolines, and like on the trampolines, like some of them had VR components. I never got to do it though, so I don't
it's
really
so
know.
Ready Player One, and I'm
Yeah.
here for it. I love great movie, by the way. I'm so here for it. But moving on, I was really laughing at some of the banned items that have been added.
Banned items. I don't know why I was thinking like music.
Oh no, but you'll
like,
appreciate this because
banned, like,
as
you
soon as
can't
I
bring
saw
'em.
this item, I immediately thought of the story you told on a previous episode about the guy with the guitar. First of all, don't be that guy in public.
Don't be that
Do
guy.
not be that guy at the party, at the bar. Like,
Nobody wants to hear your version of Oasis
Yeah,
Wonderwall, dude.
I was gonna
Just
say-
put the guitar away.
yeah.
So such a hater, but I don't even care.
Yeah, and I like Oasis, great band, but What
Let
are
them
the-
play it, though.
Yeah, let them play it. But not you. No one wants to hear your cracked out version.
So are they banning
Bluetooth
musical
speakers.
instruments? All?
Bluetooth speakers? Yep.
See,
I'm
that's
for it.
because people can't be trusted. If y'all could just respectfully use it in your room on a quiet level
But they
when you're
don't.
getting ready, of course.
They don't.
Of course
they take
don't.
it to the pool. They blast on their balcony.
Yeah.
Like, so I'm for that. But
Yeah.
here's what's a really interesting one. I didn't know this was a thing. I didn't know people were actively doing it. They were bringing Starlink like discs with them on board, so they're bypassing the ship's Wi-Fi and using Starlink, and also bringing their own like Wi-Fi routers and stuff.
Sorry, that's smart.
That is so smart, right? And at first I was like, that makes sense, but then I was like, dang, why didn't I think of that first?
So I wonder if it's just like, they obviously want you to pay for their
Oh, yeah,
Wi-Fi,
yeah.
or if it's like a security thing.
I think it's both.
Yeah.
Like you wouldn't go to a bar and bring your own bottle of whatever, right?
No.
Actually, no, never. I would never do that. Oh my gosh.
No, I get what you mean, though. But if you were somebody that was doing that workaround, let us know in the comments, because
Yeah.
I am so curious, like,
Now,
what, how it worked then.
I have heard of like people who work remotely, because let's face it, no matter how nice the ship is, the fact is you're on a ship in the middle of the ocean. Your Wi-Fi is not always gonna be great. So if you're someone who works remotely all the time, ships are now offering work from sea packages.
Really?
Yeah, so with
I
improved
mean, we
Wi-Fi,
work and
longer
travel.
itineraries,
How do we get in on this?
bring a Starlink connection. We're gonna have to talk to Jason and talk about
Yeah,
that.
I want to work from sea.
Yeah.
Like, even though I kind of complain when I have to, because then you watch everybody vacationing and you're like just going to work.
Again, we're working. It's not a vacation. I cannot stress that enough
But
every time.
if you're not in travel and that's something that you've done, like you're just like an accountant or something like
Yeah.
that, I would love to hear your experience and how you manage that, because it's always been a challenge for us. The more you do it, though, the more it definitely is just like, oh, I'm at work, and then when you're not at work, you happen to be somewhere cool.
Yeah, we understand how it looks to the outside, and honestly, it's got its perks.
It does.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I mean,
But speaking of, because you were talking about how people had like their workaround for the internet package, cruise lines are no dummy. Like, they are cracking down on
No.
these workarounds. And another one is Carnival Cruise Lines. So this was from thestreet.com. And I guess, so I'm going to do my best to try to explain this. I've never sailed on Carnival, but apparently their drink package rules were a little bit different, and people were able to work around it by like splitting up the adults. So like, let's say I was traveling with my partner, we're both like over 21, and then we have young kids. Like, instead of putting us in a room together and then like our teenagers together, we would split it up. So like, I'd be in one room, they'd be in another room. So like a kid and an adult and a kid and an adult. And then that way I can get a drink package without forcing the other person to get a drink package.
see, I didn't know that was a rule actually until my first cruise. That if you're in a cabin with someone, they get the drink package, you have to get one too.
Yes.
I didn't know that, but
And
now I do.
As far as I know, that's just sort of like a universal thing. I think back in the day, Princess used to not make you do that. What I find interesting, though, is like what if you are in recovery? Like, what if
Right.
you just don't enjoy alcohol? Like, we're adults. Like, I don't know. But I think, again, it's people that are gaming the system, ruining it for everyone.
At some point, a hack becomes straight up being cheap and stealing. That's not a hack.
Yeah, well, so like, I guess their policy, Carnival's new policy to try to get around it, is that guests under 21 must travel with a relative or guardian who is at least 25 years old. And
okay.
children 14 or younger must stay in the same or directly connecting cabin as their guardians, while teens 15 to 17 can stay in their own cabin, but must not be more than like 3 doors away. So they said that the changes are designed to prevent unruly behavior and to close the drink package loopholes that people were finding. So honestly, I'm fine with either of those. Number one, if I want a drink package, I'm going to buy it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But number two, if it puts a lock on those kids, I am all for it. Because
But on the
sometimes
flip
you do
side-
walk around and
yeah.
you're like, where are your parents?
But on the flip side, it's like you ever see like adults, you're like, you should not have unsupervised access to unlimited alcohol.
Well, or remember when we were watching that poor woman take care of, we were getting late night Sorrentos, and we were watching this poor woman just cater to her boyfriend
Oh
or
my
whatever.
gosh,
Who,
yeah.
I mean, you ever see that, like, are you drunker toddlers? Because, like,
Yeah.
people start acting like little kids. That's what it felt like. She was just like, it's okay.
Like rubbing his back. Like, is she like burping him? Like, is he about to throw up?
God, you just cannot beat cruise people watching.
No.
It is so good.
I will say, as someone who's not a fan of cruises, cruise people watching it definitely has
it's
its moments.
divine.
It really,
Yeah.
especially in those late hours, you know, and this is someone who has closed down the casino before.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that was a fun time.
No, I was like in bed by like 10 o'clock, you know? And
Yeah.
then Nate would just stumble in. I'm like, all right. It's your vacation. I'm at work,
Yeah,
but it's your
right.
vacation. So any other trends that you saw? Because something that I've been thinking more and more about are like private destinations, you know, like the success of Coco Cay
Oh,
and
yeah.
having like beach clubs. So did that come up in your research as like a trending thing?
In a way, I've noticed that a lot of the articles I skimmed through, a lot of them did talk about the private Ks, like the one from Carnival.
They have Celebration,
Yeah,
which I want to
Celebration.
go to so bad. It looks so fun.
It looks like everything you love.
Yeah,
So-
well, and very adult-only spaces, which I
Yeah.
like because otherwise those can be a little not intimidating,
Yeah.
but like hectic feeling, you know?
Here's the thing, like, I don't think it's necessarily cruises I don't like. I think it's the children. No, I know it's the children.
We gotta get on a
Virgin Voyages.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I would do a Virgin Voyages cruise
just
for
for
sure.
the research alone, because
Yeah.
I am curious if that's literally.
I
how
would even
big-
get a tattoo because at this point, what's another one, right? So, yeah, Virgin Voyages I would do. So when we found out about Celebration Key and how they're, you know, they stress like there are parts that are children free, I'm like, sign me up. I'm
Yeah,
down.
right.
As I was reading these articles, a lot of cruise lines now are offering more like immersive land expeditions because now travelers are looking for more immersive experience in destination.
Yeah.
Because, like, I think my gripe with cruising is that you're in port for a couple hours and you leave.
You just get a taste, a little.
Yeah,
sample.
exactly. I feel like I didn't really get the full experience, you know what I mean? For better or for worse, you know? Like, I don't really like to buy into this prettied up version that we see of certain places because it's a port.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean that's definitely not your like. It's sort of like we talked about way in the beginning, vacation and travel. Like cruises lend to be more of a vacation.
Yeah.
experience.
And that's fine if that's what
Yeah.
you want.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But it's definitely not, I would say, your go-to. You're more of a, you want to live like the locals live.
Yeah.
You want to like fully just like feel like that is your home for a
Yeah.
week or a weekend or
Oh, yeah.
however long you can be there. Which I love that, but I love a good drop and flop too. It's just whatever I
yeah.
need at the time.
But it's
you
just
know?
like, all in all, with so many changes happening. I mean, the cruise industry and the travel industry as a whole is always changing.
Yeah.
And with, you know, like what's in the news recently, like the ETA stuff with Europe and like the UK, it's a lot to try to work your way through. Even I think maybe even like a lot of people who work in the business with us have a hard time keeping up with these changes. So if you are a traveler and you want to know how to navigate, yikes, we'll cut that one. So if you
Navigate the changing seas of the cruise industry.
and just going with the flow.
Oh
Okay, we're cutting all that. So if you're a traveler and you're wondering how the heck am I going to keep up with all these changes, we always say use a travel agent because this is what they do. It's literally their job to stay on top of these changes.
Oh, absolutely. And like we are even in the industry and I don't know a third, a fourth, a tenth of what all of these travel agents know. 'Cause
It's
that's
always
their
just-
specialty, that's
yeah.
their business.
I mean, because there's within like the world of travel agents, there's cruise specialists, there's river cruise specialists. We didn't even talk about river cruises.
But I want to because something really exciting happening in 2025 is that Celebrity Cruises is
Ayy.
doing river cruises. And I am pumped for this because we've talked about river cruises in the past. And I feel like their demographic, it ain't necessarily me. Whereas Celebrity, I feel, is still going to attract, you know, whatever age they're going to attract. But they're going to do it in a celebrity way, which I think could be a little young and hip. You know what I'm saying?
But you've always said I would probably enjoy a river cruise versus an ocean cruise, and I completely agree.
I think you would.
I love the idea of sitting on deck, watching all these historic buildings pass by. Like, I love that.
Well, and like when we were on Celebrity, something that you did definitely get a sense of is they wanted to embrace the ports in the overall cruise feel, which I feel like a lot of them do, whether it's, you know, the theme dinner and the main dining or something like that. But I really want to see how Celebrity embraces that with their brand, and because their whole thing is like, you know, more expedition, more conscious maybe excursion choices and stuff like that. So it seems so natural that they're getting into this river cruise market, and I cannot wait to see what they do. Again, this is not sponsored, but if Celebrity wants to sponsor me and send me on this cruise.
We were on the Reflection last year, and all I could think about was how good the ship smelled. I swear, they spray something in the air.
Well, there were way less kids there for you, so you had to have been like...
Yeah. Yeah, that too.
And the kids that were on were proper. They were like dressed nice all the
Yeah.
time.
Like they weren't running around with one Croc on
No, it
and
was
like
so interesting. I was like, are you a child or are you just a small person?
no, their ships always smelled so nice.
But
and I appreciate that.
I have another update that I think you're going to be excited about. So, you know, when we were on the Allure of the Seas, that's a Royal Caribbean ship. So something that's happening this year is it's going to go into like a dry dock refurb, and they're going to put in the Playmakers Sports Bar and Arcade, which means pool tables at sea.
About time. I've yet to seen one of these mythical self-balancing pool tables.
They're only in Playmakers, at least with the Royal Caribbean ships, but they are fun. And like,
Yeah,
I
I
cannot
love
wait to
pool.
see it on that ship. That's a ship, you know, how you were like, would you go on it again? Absolutely. Especially after a refurb, because I love that class of ship and I love the adult only spaces. And now that they're adding in all these things like an escape room, laser tag, the pesky parrot tiki bar, which is so cute.
Which is so funny because you're reading this and I'm like, this sounds like it's all for children, but for adults.
Well,
amazing.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I go on the water slides. You know what I mean? Like I do. That's why.
Wait, have you ever done the Wave Rider?
No.
Oh my God, what I would give to see you on that.
I have somehow still the ability to be a little embarrassed, and it holds me back just enough. Especially, we're there for work. Could you imagine me, though, first day on the wave ride, and then I break my ankle, and it's like, well, Ashley's unable to do her work. Like, no way.
Yeah, but she shredded, man. She shredded
but
the
it was
way.
worth it, because that clip went viral.
Yeah.
So.
So really, take one for the team. Stop being so selfish.
I know. But when we were on that cruise, we also docked at Nassau. And do you remember seeing the construction zone?
Yes.
Because new in 2025 is going to be Royal Caribbean's Royal Beach Club Paradise Island, and that'll open in Nassau. Right now, they're just saying October, December.
I was going to say, it can't be soon, because like it was like freshly under construction when we were there.
It was just demoed, really, when we were there. Which was, September last year, 2024?
October.
Yeah. So again, that's exclusive to royal guests. There will be an admission cost, and it's limited capacity. I mean, you saw the strip of land. So
yeah, it's not big.
Yeah, if you're in the Nassau port, it's like, I don't want to say to the left because that changes. And really, I guess I shouldn't say left at all. That would be port side. But when you're looking at Atlantis, basically, like Atlantis takes up the majority of that real estate. And then the island sort of tapers off. And they're looking at that very last end, which is really nice because then you're not going to be nestled between other things. You just are sort of have your own little area. So, yeah, I really want to go there because Nassau, I'm not going to lie to y'all, has never been my favorite port. Like, I will just stay on the ship sometimes.
I don't remember much about Nassau. I actually really...
Did you even get off the ship? I don't think we
I
did because we were working.
Yeah. But I actually really enjoy port days because everyone else is off the ship.
Yeah. No, it's so true. I know a lot of cruisers, like our coworker Kevin, he doesn't really get off the ship ever. Like, that is...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like what
he's
he's
like, why would I?
Yeah. Oh, that's a good question. If you are a frequent cruiser, do you live for the port days or do you love an empty ship? Let us know. Maybe we'll do a poll on our YouTube channel, so stay tuned.
I know
for
which
that.
one I am.
Yeah. I bet you can guess, but I love a good excursion. Well, I think that was all the highlights that I had for what's coming. But like Annie and I were talking about, you know, we can't stay on top of everything. So if you have some new exciting cruise news for 2025 that you want to share with our little travel family, go ahead and drop it in the comments. You can put it on social media. And you can email us directly, too, if you really want to unpack a topic. And that would be at travelstoriesunpacked@gmail.com.
Yeah. And like we've mentioned so many times already, things are always changing in the travel business. Use a travel agent if you're planning, especially a cruise. There's so many ins and outs of that you didn't realize you would need to know, like what documents you need. Like, and don't be those people that end up on the headlines like, our cruise ship left us behind. Like, no. Like,
or do, because that is entertaining.
Yeah. Like, first of all, don't buy into that because those people knew, like, it's a hard...
they knew.
Yeah, like... Don't blame the cruise line, okay? It's you versus however many thousands of other people. You had one job, and that was to get back on the ship. Sorry you had too many margaritas at Joe's Crab Shack or whatever.
Right. All right. Well, I think this might be the first year in a while I haven't gotten on a cruise ship, so I'm a little sad about that, and hoping that by saying that, I will manifest ending up on a ship this year.
I am hoping for you.
Yeah. All right. So, Annie, what are we talking about next time?
So, this is a topic that's kind of near and dear to me. It's about the safest places to travel, especially as women in 2025, because as you all know by now, I'm a big fan of solo travel. So stay tuned. Maybe you'll learn a thing or two for you or your fellow traveler.
Yeah. Oh, and if you're watching this on the day that it came out, happy Valentine's Day. And thank you for spending some of the day with us.
And this podcast is brought to you by KHM Travel Group, a leading host agency for independent travel agents. Head to khmtravel.com to learn more.